we should be good to go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the TTV Podcast. It's the name order might be a little funny today because I'm at the start, but
do we still say like the name order right away for a TTV podcast? Like, how does it start? How does it start?
We do. That's the idea anyway.
So I'm Tenebrae Invictus.
I'm Takuma Nuva.
I'm Prpl.
I'm EX6 Trooper, and no matter what the name order is, I'm always last. So it's very
I was gonna say
third.
You've gotten before Prpl.
No, you are last now. Well, when we're on the same show, I guess you're last, but usually I am. So it's a little funny doing this today, I guess.
Yeah, it's Mardi Gras! Yay!
Yeah, Mardi Gras.
We need to say that as well.
Marty, Leo Live.
Yay!
Subscribe to us on Vessel. Wait.
Shirt of the month. Wait.
We recommend Brick by Brick by someone, something, I don't know.
Check us out on Audible at TTV channel/Audible.
I don't even
Do
know.
we still do that?
Okay,
do we
okay,
still
guys. No,
I don't even know.
that plug does not exist anymore. But anyways, It's interesting to be the host today with all you guys since we're usually the B-list crew, and we're
Yeah, we're just the
show.
people who fill in for the people who aren't here.
Yeah.
You know.
So we actually get to talk this one time. It's great. Instead of Bar and John talking forever about something, and then
freaking Marvel or whatever. It's always Marvel and superheroes, dude.
Oh,
and you want to say that one thing, and you never get to say it because, like, by the time people stop talking, they like moved on to another topic.
Mm-hmm. So you're like, dang,
you never got
that one thing I wanted to say, but now it's completely irrelevant.
It's too far gone. It's it's long past. It's not happening.
We gotta learn to interrupt them, you guys. We have to overthrow the men. That's
what I learned.
Wait, what are you saying?
We need.
I was gonna say the man, but then I realized there's multiple of them.
Did we just do like they? Wait a minute. Okay. Trooper, have you seen Black Panther yet?
I have not seen Black Panther yet, but I don't care about spoilers, so if you guys want to talk about it...
I was going to say, maybe we should just start doing like they did in Black Panther. Whenever they start talking and we want to talk, we just...
Is that really a thing?
It happens
technically, yes and no.
It's one small, like, single scene. But yeah.
It's so weird, though. They'll just do like a monkey thing? Gorilla
thing, but sure.
That's more like dog barking, but...
Yeah, it's just one person didn't like being interrupted because he was a person of status, so he's just going, to shut up the American.
All right, so I guess we're going to all take the time to listen to each other today. We're going to hear each other's thoughts, and if
communication is important in a relationship.
Communication is key, guys.
We have like an imaginary talking pillow going around or something. I don't know.
Pillow? I always heard of I thought it was a stick. Where's the pillow?
No, I'd say like a pillow is a lot more, a lot less.
It's a lot nicer.
Yeah, it's just a lot more nice with a pillow. You know, a stick doesn't have like the same.
You can hurt people with that.
Yeah, you know, you don't want like.
Can you really hurt someone with a pillow? Like, it requires a lot more effort.
It requires
to hurt someone with a pillow.
You can get hit pretty hard by a pillow. I'm just saying, those pillow fights I've been in before. Ouch, man. Well, if you get hit in the head...
Speaking as Invi, a seasoned pillow war veteran.
I've got some pillow PTSD, like when I lay down
I love the smell of feathers in the morning. Smells like victory.
I just like shoot up in the middle of the night, like I sit up and like, oh my gosh.
Up?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, like sitting up. I was totally thinking like the needle and everything.
No. Okay, come on, man.
Envy is serious about his pillow fights. He's juicing.
Well, I mean, oh my gosh. No, that is not the case. I'm just saying I'll like wake up with flashbacks of a pillow flying into my face from the good old pillow wars.
Good old pillow wars.
Speaking of PTSD and like mental illness and degrading and everything, like how does it feel to be responsible for a lot of things, Invi? Because you're doing a lot.
How's like the whole streaming thing going? Like,
is
you have problems with that?
No, this is the streaming.
Wait, what streaming thing?
I'm streaming it on YouTube right now.
The podcast. We're talking like literally what we're doing right now. Takuma.
See, like
taking
over of like getting the whole two podcasts in a row running kind of seemed daunting at first, but the process actually didn't take too long to get everything set up. So like John had said at one point, he had a video where he was going to show how to run XSplit and stuff like that. Well, I didn't follow any of that. I just kind of like searched around the group's Dropbox for all the files, like the video running in the background of like
Invi the handyman
logos flying, like all the different pictures and stuff. I just kind of like saved that myself and like downloaded the
And before
program.
our audio wasn't working.
No, it works. Just trust me.
Yeah, it worked. It worked yesterday with the BrickFeed.
And if there's any
You get it
issues, like,
working
people-
better than like John does in all of his months of experience using the program.
Well, if there were any issues, people on YouTube would probably say it, but it's worked out, and I don't know how I managed to pull it all together and like get all you guys here, but I'm just glad this episode and yesterday's episode worked out.
I am too. I mean, we're still early on in this episode. It might all just go completely sideways. You know, they come back.
That
like
description
the channel
that's
is
on
down
YouTube,
or something.
Who knows?
What?
Go on. What?
Wait,
What'd
what?
you say, Takuma? What'd you say, Takuma?
I said something about the description, but you're talking about the whole YouTube going down?
Oh no, yeah, I was just like, what happened? Like everything's going all right now, you know. But what if like they come back and all of a sudden our channel is down and everything? You know, just everything has gone.
I mean, like what also happened at
One time
BrickFeed? Almost.
Yeah. Basically, something along those lines. So.
Hey guys, how's the podcast going? Oh crap!
We get halfway through, and then we're like, wait,
We
why there's no
accidentally
comments
deleted
coming
the whole
in?
channel. Basically,
Guess we'll just have to rebuild. But when does the actual event? Has that started already, or
Yeah,
does that start
that's
today?
been going on this weekend, so they are going to be done tomorrow, I think.
Okay, I didn't know if like the whole thing started on Friday or if it was until today that things actually like opened up.
Yeah, it's been going on this weekend, so I think they fly home on Monday, but I've pulled up a picture that Meso posted onto Twitter of Venom not looking too thrilled with life. You can see this event is taking a big toll on them.
He
I
looks
like his
so
hat.
dead.
poor Ben. There's too much Lego peeps.
Dude, I just noticed Ven's wallpaper in that picture is my favorite Pokemon. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god!
Wait,
Great.
there's a Pokemon on his phone? Is that?
Yeah!
I can't see it.
And which
It's a
one is it?
Hydreigon. It's upside down though.
Oh, I know that Pokemon. It has like 2 or 3 heads, and it's the dragon.
Yeah.
Of course you like it purple because it's a dragon.
My 2 favorite types too.
Ah!
It's like dragon and dark type.
Oh, it's an edgy dragon even. Oh boy,
An edgy dragon.
edgelord dragon.
It's a dragon straight out of 2006 Bionicle.
Yeah, basically.
Wow.
So, I mean, I guess that is like a positive thing then, that we're not at Lego Boost, because as it turns out, it is exhausting. And I mean, I guess it's great that they're doing stuff related to Lego and everything, and that's fun. But it's taking a toll on them, and we're sitting here, you know, in our comfortable homes, with Invi here sorting out everything
We
related
get
to
to
the podcast.
chat it up and laugh about life.
Haha! You guys are, laugh at them.
Take that. That's what
They
you
all
get
get
for
to
liking
hang
Lego.
out together in
Nerds.
person
Yeah.
again.
For
Getting
working
ramen.
and
Okay, Prpl,
and getting
okay.
connections
It'll be
with
okay.
Lego.
We've got someone in the YouTube chat go with the username TTV Mesoneck. I think we need to kick them because they're clearly impersonating a member of the
Oh
cast.
no!
And we know that they're way too busy at this event. To
Yeah,
actually-
this can't possibly
Yeah.
actually be Meso.
Why would he be in the...
Who's got those
what's
controls?
it? Why would he be in the YouTube chat when he can just join Discord anyway?
Because he is busy being exhausted and underpaid. He is
Maybe
very
it's
busy.
because he is not one of our Patreon members. So if you go over to Patreon/the TTV channel, you can join the Discord, unlike Meso here, who has to watch from YouTube.
Except
Smoother than a baby's mom.
Meso with air
Except
quotes.
do not go to Patreon/the TTV channel, because that will not pull up a correct address. You need to go to patreon.com/the TTV channel, and then you can donate $1, the price of a pencil, in order to be here and chat with us and have your messages displayed.
Expensive pencil.
Do you think
a pack
Vessel
of
would
pencils, okay?
make it if they had a
Price of a
Patreon?
pack of pencils.
The Vessel
man?
Patreon.
The Vessel Patreon.
Yeah. you know.
Let's start a Patreon to bring back Vessel.
Messinac. A Kickstarter to bring back Vessel.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we just...
actually popped up. He actually donated, JK, except he didn't donate.
Okay. That's great.
He's clearly hacking. Time to kick him.
So do you guys see any pictures or anything cool from the Toy Fair? There's like pictures popping up on Instagram and everywhere of like the sets we talked about on BrickFeeds.
Yeah, it's popping up on Discord. So there was I made a joke about, since we recorded BrickFeed yesterday, and then all of a sudden all this Toy Fair news came up. I joked around and I said, "Oh, BrickFeed 90 is going to be today," just because of all the news. And patron apprentice was a bit confused when we started recording the TTV podcast. He's like, "I thought Invi said BrickFeed was recording today," but no. There's a lot of cool stuff, but I think that will be covered next week.
Just goes.
We already had our plates filled pretty hard when it came to BrickFeed this week. So
yeah, that was a bit. So, but I don't think we would record 2 BrickFeeds back to back. That recording the same podcast over and over.
That would become brick glutton.
Too much brick and news.
Yeah, too many bricks. Too many bricks for the. I don't know. I can't rhyme. It's hard. All right.
Hey Meso, if you're listening, we need you to rhyme.
Oh no! Why is it? If you guys are here in the Discord,
I think it's time to stop paying attention to the chat, because clearly they're trying to influence the podcast.
They're trying to sabotage the podcast. We can
trying to overrun us.
I don't need you, Mom. I can do this podcast myself.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on from the Lego, let's get into real life, guys. The first thing that I wanted to bring up today, I don't know how much you guys are paying attention, but have you guys seen the Olympics at all?
No.
Yeah.
I actually didn't even see the opening ceremony because I had to leave to record a podcast.
I know it's important, and I know it's a great thing for humanity. It's just I have no interest.
Exactly.
I don't have the patience to be like watching it for that long.
Like maybe if it's just like on in the background while I draw, but I don't even know where to like watch it on my computer.
It needs more explosions and superpowers.
No explosions, please. That's very much not what we need.
No, just imagine like doing the half pipe. Like every time they take off, it's just.
Oh my gosh!
Rockets out like rocket power.
Isn't half pipe like already dangerous enough as it is?
Yeah, probably, like a lot of the sports that they're doing there is already incredibly dangerous. Adding like
figure skating.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. Okay.
The only thing I really know about the Olympics is that one of the events, I don't remember the names, I don't remember the event, but somebody, what was it? They binged. I think they binged a TV show or something. They woke up late. They swore on national camera, and still won the gold.
Red Gerard from Colorado. He did all that, man. That's crazy to binge Netflix. I mean, but his alarm, he slept in, but his alarm was set to 6 a.m. So, I mean, it's not really like he was waking up at like 10 or like noon. And he's like, oh, shoot, I forgot about the Olympics going on. So,
guys, we have a obligation here. Super chat on YouTube from Goji King said he donated $2 and he is expecting 2 brick-built pencils. I don't know.
All right, who wants to make that?
I don't know, but I guess I'll after I'm done sorting, I'll make you a pencil. Thank you very much for the $2. Continue, Invi, with Olympic talk.
The Olympic talk. All right, so while I was at work, since my work is with a special needs kid and I'm at his house during the evening, they were watching the Olympics. All I've seen is the half pipe for the men and the women, and even though I don't care about like watching it at home, like it was actually really cool to watch. Not just because USA won, but the gold medals in the events, but just the skill that goes into like preparing all these years, going to different events, and then watching them at the Olympics like pull off all these moves on the half pipe, like going up and spinning around, like doing flips and turns and stuff. It was actually really cool watching them. Like
it's basically like Overwatch competitive, but instead of using your character, you're using your body. It's crazy, man.
So in the women's event, they were talking up this girl the whole time, Wadon, linked her, Chloe Kim. The entire time the commentators were like, "Oh yeah, she's gonna be coming up. Can't wait to see it." I'm like, why do they keep like talking about her? She hasn't even like showed up yet. And then
Why
she
is
goes,
she a big deal?
First run on the half pipe, since you get 3 tries to like get your best score. She like completely does. Sorry, I'm gonna lose my words. She does like some awesome tricks. Yeah, she floors everybody. She gets like a 93 on her first try out of 100, and nobody beats her from that. Nobody topped her score, and then she went on her third run and got a 97. So like, she had already secured the gold, but like just for extra flair, she tried to get a full perfect 100 and got really really close. So it was really cool to watch that.
She was basically a real life SSX3 character. That's what she did. Every time you're saying half pipe, that's the only thing I can think of. I'm just like, oh, SSX3 was a game I played.
That's that. Nintendo 64 game called like 1080 Snowboarding that I would always play as a kid, and that's what I always think of because they have a half pipe in there too.
1080 Snowboarding, but it was only 360p.
Oh! You hear that, game developers?
Takuma with the sick jokes from downtown.
Didn't like Nintendo have like Olympic games where they have like Sonic and Mario and stuff?
Yeah, Sonic and Mario at the Olympics or whatever it's called. Yeah, pretty much. I've never played
Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games.
I just saw the game case. I've never actually played them.
Me either. Did anyone ever play extremely goofy skateboarding?
Nope.
Do you mean SSX3? Because that was extremely goofy.
It was extremely goofy skateboarding, like goofy, like Disney characters. I just played the cereal box version, but I played the heck out of that. Was it literally
cold?
Yes.
That was the name.
Extremely goofy skateboarding. You could play it as Goofy and Max, the Disney characters.
Yeah,
and you went around doing skateboarding tricks.
Huh. I saw the Goofy movie, I know all that stuff.
I vaguely know about it.
I'm gonna look this up. What is?
I never got the full version, but it was one of those, back when you could get like cereal box games. There was like a demo on a cereal box, and I played the heck out of that demo.
Oh wow!
Really? You didn't even play the entire game; you just played the demo.
Nope, just played the demo over and over and over.
That's why they stopped doing demos for games, is because people either got what they wanted from the game from the demo, or they would play the game and they would realize that they do not like the game and they wouldn't buy it. Like it was not. Well, it was incredibly consumer friendly because it made it a lot easier. Yeah, that's why they stopped, because they were like, you know what, we want money, and this is not giving us money, so we're gonna stop doing this. And
we're gonna start doing things that get us money, like loot boxes.
There was
Speaking of loot boxes,
we'll get into that in a bit.
Yeah, just Invi, say your thing. I was just
Invi with the smackdown.
That was a great segue though, but yeah, go on, Invi.
I'll just say one last thing. One demo that I really liked that had infinite replay value was Halo. The Halo trial had just one level of the campaign, but the multiplayer you could play like on one map with everybody else, either Slayer or Capture the Flag. And I think that was the biggest reason why I never actually bought the game, because you could just have as much fun as you wanted on the trial. So I can see why they like.
But did you play against only people that were playing the demo, or were you playing? Oh, okay.
But there was ways to glitch it. There was ways to glitch it. Like if you went on a Halo website, you could download other maps that were just titled the same thing as the file for the one map they gave you, so you could
some hacks,
elite hacks going on. Damn,
good times at the. That's like when I first knew ESO and stuff like that. We'd get into crazy shenanigans like that.
Oh boy,
there was that actually just kind of reminded me. A lot of computers, they come with like those Wild Tangent or whatever. Those game services, kind of like Steam or whatever, where they have a bunch of demos. And back in the day, I found out quickly with some of the older Wild Tangent games, the whole game is here. It's just like one file is saying, like limit these options, like just a text file that you can open up and edit. Or there was one case where it might have been like one of the original Blaster Balls or something, one of those breakout games. The whole game was there. It's just there was 2 folders. One was all the maps for the full version. One was all the maps for the demo version. All I did was copy the entire folder for the full version into the demo folder. The whole game. Like every few levels, it kept saying, buy the full version so you can get all the levels. But I just hit, not now or continue or whatever. And I got to keep playing.
That's Really
Shame
weird.
on you, but congrats.
Leak hacks the TTV episode.
I mean, I was in my early teens when I figured this out.
I cannot condone, but I do not condemn you.
Well, that's the thing. It's like it's kind of an interesting quandary. Like, okay, like it's like technically you're not supposed to be able to play this without paying, but it's like they made it so easy. Everything was there.
Takuma, you're going to jail. You know that, right?
Okay, but to be fair, if that wasn't an option, I never would have bought the full version, so they didn't lose any money off of me.
I guess you'll see how that hold off's in court. You know, I don't know. We'll see. What are you saying, Andy?
Nothing. I think we should move on now from all these exploits and
from
demos
my criminal life.
Video games, like this first video game talk. Let's talk about something else that's sad for some people and happy for others. Valentine's Day. How'd your Valentine's Day go, everybody?
Oh yeah, that was a thing.
I worked.
Me too.
I don't remember what I did.
I worked. I made my,
day?
as is my annual tradition, I made some sort of snarky tweet about Valentine's Day, and that got some extra snark back from, like, what, Jonathan Dwan seemed kind of salty about it or something. I don't know. Somebody else on Twitter told me I was being stuck up for saying Saint Valentine's Day. There was more than the usual amount of flack coming my way, and I don't know if that means I'm getting better with making snarky tweets, or it's just over the year I've gained more followers, so the chances of someone saying something like that have gone up.
Probably both.
I'd call it a successful snarky Valentine's Day, though.
Valentine's Day amuses me because there is, like, I think I always see so much backlash. Everybody complains about, oh, why do people have to rub it in? Like, oh, I'm just going to be single this year, haha, like...
Or, the whole hashtag Single Awareness Day.
Exactly. Like, the sheer amount of backlash over it is ridiculous.
Does anyone know, like, how did Valentine's Day occur? Is it, like, a very ancient thing, or was it literally just something that, like, they made cards?
My history is a little fuzzy on this. It went back to... It had to do with Saint Valentine being in jail, I think.
Huh, romantic.
My history is not... I used to know this a lot better.
On Patreon or YouTube? No.
Something about, I think he was in jail or something like that, but then someone else sent him a message. The message literally read, like, to my Valentine, referring to his, the saint's name. But that's kind of where that whole tradition of, having a Valentine in the exchange of Valentines and cards and candy and stuff like that kind of originated from.
The folk legend I had always heard, or maybe not always, but the only thing that ever came to mind for me is that he was, like, marrying people in secret when he wasn't supposed to, or something like that. That's like the one thing I'm aware of, if that's even true or not. But that's where he got his, like, reputation.
Yeah,
so
I know he was a martyr.
I've never, like, cared that much about Valentine's Day. I've kind of if you guys want to share some bad stories, you are more than welcome to. Like, for example, probably about 6 years ago now, I tried to ask this girl out, or I just wanted to get to know her, and there was a Valentine's dance coming up, like, in a few days after that. Well, the perfect timing came. The perfect timing came where I had actually lost my voice, so I couldn't really talk to her, and I had, like, just this really scratchy voice that no one could understand, and I tried to talk to her when I had that scratchy voice. But she was just like, yeah, I'm talking to someone else right now, so if you want to, like, maybe after that, we'll see. Like, there's, like, no way that was going to happen, but
oh boy,
I felt so bad after that, and it was just the worst combination to, like, have no voice and try to talk to this girl. Anyways, the dance was
hard
fine.
enough to talk to girls as it is.
The dance was fine going alone. I never, like, cared that much about being single on Valentine's Day, so I don't really have a point to complain. Last year, I decided I was gonna be nice and just, like, gave candy to, like, multiple girls, just like, hey, you're a good friend of mine, like, here you go, happy Valentine's Day, but this doesn't mean anything between us. Sort of, like, I didn't say it like that. I was just,
and every single heart was broken.
Yeah, I was just like being friendly on Valentine's Day, and this year was the greatest. Nothing's been going on for me for Valentine's Day, but I got this record perfectly timed in the mail that made me sad and want to cry. The record was named Loveless. So here you go. Here's the picture of me crying to it.
Oh boy.
And so
that's pretty good timing, though, I would say.
You look like you're about to puke.
Well, yeah, Valentine's Day made me sick with the grief. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, it was sent from England, so I had to wait a whole month for it. And I was like, I swear, if this is gonna take so long, it better not come on Valentine's Day. Fortunately, it came the day before, but it's just equally as sad that I got it just in time for Valentine's Day.
So I guess I should say, because I'm the only person here with a significant other.
Yeah.
I had Valentine's Day. I totally forgot that was actually a thing, because it was more of a preparation thing that was the issue, because I tried to get that Valentine's bee for my girlfriend, and it's just sold out everywhere, and there was just absolutely no way of getting it. But I got her this necklace that I got from my girlfriend, that is. I got this necklace that I got at BrickFeed was just these two pieces like glued together with like a heart, and it was incredibly cheesy, but like I was originally going to give it as soon as I got back to BrickFeed, but I forgot about it, and then I just found it like a little while ago. I was like, okay, here you go. So it was great, and I mean, we didn't go out because it's very expensive, and none of us had much money. I've used all mine on like boxes to put my Lego in it, and she's a student, so we just made burgers at home, and that was really it. Dude. I mean, so I had a pretty great Valentine's Day, but like this whole thing about people complaining about things on Twitter and everything. I mean, if nothing's going on Valentine's Day, just don't care about it, I guess, because it's literally a one-day thing. Yeah, it's over in 24 hours. But I guess the big thing about Valentine's Day is probably give a couple people around the world the extra confidence they need to ask someone out. I mean, it worked for Invi, I guess. Did Valentine's Day give you a bunch of confidence back in the day? You asked someone out?
I don't know. I think it was more like peer pressure that sort of like, and liking the girl.
Okay, so, yeah, that works.
It was a mix of everything. So I don't know if it was like a boost of confidence, but I was just trying to eventually see if I could get her to go to the dance with me, and it didn't quite work out. I wasn't like heartbroken over that or anything. I kind of expected it to go that way. So I don't know. I'll think about it in the future. See if Valentine's Day is like the tipping factor. But so far, when it comes to talking to girls, it's had just about zero impact on me talking to them.
Well, hopefully it'll happen at some point. Anyway, we got Goji King, which donated $5 on YouTube, and he made a good point about eating chocolate alone, because I guess a lot of that Valentine's chocolate is 50% off the next day.
I was gonna say it would make more sense to chocolate the day after, because it's cheaper. But I think go on. I was just gonna say, I think last year for Valentine's Day, it might have even been the fact that I went and just got a bunch of like the discount candy afterwards, and just brought it home and gave it to all my sisters. Basically, that was more or less the end of it.
That's nice.
I don't do much, I can't get a date the rest of the year. What am I gonna? I'm gonna try on Valentine's Day? Heck no.
Oh, Takuma, so sad, man, so sad.
Yeah. It was actually kind of funny. Maybe you don't care. Maybe I've told this story before, but a few weeks back, my sister told me that I should ask out this particular girl. And I told her, hey, that's a good idea. I would do that if I hadn't already been turned down by her.
Hey, you got to give it another chance sometimes. You never know. People change their mind.
Yeah, you got to double the charm.
This had nothing to do with me, though. This had to do with her and her career and not having... It was nothing me. She doesn't want to date anybody.
All right, thanks for the clarification.
Yeah, as far as I know, yeah, she's probably out there right now, just like, oh man, this creep one day. Ugh.
What do you mean? It's this handsome young man that I unfortunately had to turn down because I was busy with other things in my life. That's what she's thinking, Takuma. You gotta.
I'm sure.
You just have to stalk her until her schedule opens up, and you're like, hey, I'm back. date.
I mean, that's literally what you can do in this day and age, you know? Before it was like, never talk to strangers ever, and now it's like, hey, you can look online and learn everything about everyone. It's great.
I only do that with weird people who send me emails in the help desk at work. You can find interesting things when you just punch their email into Google.
Oh man, really?
Oh yeah.
Huh.
I could do a whole segment
Stalking
about this.
101.
There was one guy who was trying to find a job as like a Phi-Ed teacher or whatever, and I was able to pull up like some of his past jobs and application history and stuff. Just by punching his email into Google, found all kinds of stuff about him. Turns out he should not be a Phi-Ed teacher.
You should report him then.
I'm glad you reached that conclusion.
I mean, to be fair, Invi, we did eventually end up blocking him because he wouldn't stop emailing us.
Those darn emailers with their...
Those obsessive emailers.
Yeah!
The Mockingbird in the patron chat says he wants a TTV dating sim.
Oh dear God,
Already
no.
the gears are turning.
No, please, I do not want to be part of this.
I want that.
That depends. Would it be TTV internally, or would it be like a dating sim and you get to choose which member of TTV you want to play as?
Wow, you get
The
to be
latter.
the lucky fan that gets like the interest of the cast members.
Oh my God.
Maybe that's
So,
what it is. You
it
play
sucks
as yourself, and you. Oh,
We're
dear.
gonna start Kickstarter,
It
guys.
would suck for most guys because they would only have two options of who to date.
We're in 2018. I don't know if you know this, Invi.
He said most
I said
guys.
most guys because
Okay.
not all guys.
But then, are we
Oh,
also
okay.
accounting for our personalities? Because I'm pretty sure most of us guys, if not all of us, are straight.
Hey, it's a dating
Yeah.
simulator. You never know.
Yeah, simulation.
You can change
simulation,
it. It's not like it's going to
anything's
affect your
possible.
reality.
You can mod it.
Yeah,
Oh gosh.
Get your.
I don't want to
Steam
know what
mods
kind
today.
of mods would start popping up. This is a bad idea. It's not happening.
Takuma romance with a cheese pizza.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
that's okay. That is okay. Maybe it'll just be like, it'll just be, the character specific. Oh, you can offer gifts to characters, but if you give Takuma the pizza, oh, now we're getting somewhere.
Oh no.
You unlock the true good ending of Takuma.
Oh,
I mean, dating
I think
me would be a bad thing. Like, you'd be at a restaurant, I'm like, oh, sorry, I gotta leave now. I gotta go play Dota. Goodbye. Sorry, I got a record in the mail. Time to go pick that up.
maybe.
What if they like?
I would just never interact with anyone. I'd be asleep the entire time.
The dating simulator has you at your doorstep, and they can't get you out because you're asleep. That was a fun idea for a few minutes. Let's move on to something that three of us have seen. Poor X, he doesn't care that much about spoilers, but we're going to talk about it anyways. Probably not too spoilery. Let's talk about Black Panther. What did you guys
Great
think of it?
movie. Oh my gosh.
I've heard it's a very
So good.
great movie. So
Yeah, I
hope
was very
it's
impressed
good.
with it.
It's pretty much exactly what I expected to walk into it, and it was good.
Yeah.
I gave it solid 8 or 9 out of 10.
I have next to
I've heard
no
there's some-
expectations when it comes to movies, but it delivered for sure.
I've heard there's no. Some people in the chat are asking for no spoilers to probably
wasn't intending
avoid
spoilers.
the big
Well,
twists.
Yeah,
I
we're
think
not
there's some of
we're
those.
not gonna get into that. We're just gonna talk
I don't
about
even know what big
what we
twists
like.
there are.
Or maybe you're just saying that to throw everyone off.
Dun dun
Like,
dun.
I legit
Twist.
don't know.
So meta, Prpl. All according to plan.
Have
All
you seen
according to
any
Kotaku.
movie by M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong? Purple. That's a twist right there.
Have you
Yeah,
seen
Marvel.
what?
A movie by M. Night Shyamalan.
Shyamalan.
I can only
Shyamalan
remember
Ding Dong.
2 that he's done.
Yeah.
And that's just The Last Airbender and The Sixth Sense, neither of which I've seen.
Did he do
Split was by him, yeah.
and
He did Split.
Unbreakable?
I think. No.
What is Split? I don't know.
I don't
Yeah,
think he did
did.
Split.
Yes, he did both of
Okay.
those.
Okay, then I've seen those.
Yeah.
Okay, but we're not going to. We're
Yeah,
not
this
talking
is
about that. But we're
this is
talking about Black Panther.
Panther. So for
Yeah.
me personally, this was probably my favorite serious Marvel movie. For when it comes to other ones that are my favorite, Thor's my favorite comedic one because while that has a serious story, it's definitely jokes all around. Black Panther doesn't have. I don't find it as funny. It's got
It was
funny
more-
moments, but it's not like a comedy kind of thing. It's a very serious movie, and
What's the word?
Yeah,
Melodramatic?
they don't ruin anything with the humor, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, they don't try to shoehorn it in.
Yeah, it's not forced or anything. It just kind of, well, there is one moment where it kind of is forced, but that was a good meme.
Yeah. it was definitely a meme.
Right now.
What was that?
I'm drawing a blank right now on what we're talking on. What bit?
Is the meme moment a big spoiler?
No, but I don't know.
Give me some context.
Yeah, I want it to be unexpected. That'd be great.
Yeah, it's just like one of those sayings that came from the internet that gets put in there as a joke, but I don't want to say which one it is.
You should put it in.
It's nothing bad. It has to do with like certain footwear people like to wear, but we'll just leave it at that.
I thought they were nice shoes.
Okay.
What did you think of the CGI? I've heard like the biggest criticism from this movie that I've seen so far, like besides maybe some race stuff, which isn't really. Anyways, the CGI, I heard like people say it's not that good.
The part that really
sometimes yeah, sometimes no.
Like the very last bit, the Wakandan ship at the end of the movie, and that was pretty much the only part of the movie where I was like, oh, that just looks fake.
I thought the rhinos kind of looked really, really fake.
Yeah, I didn't pay attention to them too much. I think the only part where I was like, wow, this is just like 3D models. These don't look like legit. Was when they're flying through the city. I mean, you can only do so much when it comes to CGI, so I didn't find fault as much with how the city looked. It's kind of funny because I mean they had like a blurring effect as they're like flying through, which kind of like hides the full like obviousness of it being CGI. But I personally didn't have that much of an issue with like any of the graphics in this movie. I think those are like top notch. So,
it was a really pretty movie.
I think the movie also explores like different ideologies pretty well. Like it has a good balance, like shows different perspectives on like how oppressed people feel and like stuff like that. So I think it's a good movie for everyone. I don't think anybody should find an issue with it, and I do enjoy that it has a very high rating. It's like 97-98% on Rotten Tomatoes. So
something like that.
And it's doing super well at the box office.
Good movie. Yeah, so I'm glad.
We'd all recommend it.
Yeah, go watch it so we can like actually talk about spoilers and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna read a couple tweets. Meso, he's already talking in the patron chat, said incredible movie, but he said on Twitter, Black Panther is probably my second favorite on solo MCU film after Iron Man. Masterful on every front. And Ven, Black Panther movie was great. I really look forward to seeing more of these characters in the future, but in the meantime, a rewatch or two should suffice. It's in my top 5 Marvel movies for sure. I agree with him, and I'm excited to go watch it again. I'd really want to go see it like next week, but I think I'm going to space it out more so I like to rewatch movies with like some weeks in between so I can actually remember what I saw.
Right.
So I'll see it soon, but not like super soon. Yeah. Any other thoughts on Black Panther that doesn't spoil anything? I like the music.
I haven't seen it, so I'm kind of drawing a blank here.
Sorry, man. I the music was a good blend of like it had like an orchestra to it, but then they also like were throwing in like electronic beats in there. I like the drum samples and stuff, kind of metallic sounding. They got like some good tribal music kind of incorporated.
I was gonna say, for me, the
traditional and modern
kind of the thing that I liked about the movie is, all these other origin movies are in your typical sort of Western culture, or not Western setting, I should say, but don't really seem to have a lot of culture going on. Whereas this one, where you could see that like the sort of culture and tradition really permeated everything about this movie.
Yeah, for sure. This is a very conscious movie. Like they incorporated a lot of just different cultures and stuff that blended it into Wakanda. My friend was telling me he read some news article where they were praising how good of a job they did for like how similar it was, like, and accurate it was to like different tribes and cultures and stuff like that in Africa. So it was pretty cool.
It was nice to see a superhero movie that had that sort of I don't want to say twist, but I can't think of the word I'm looking for, as opposed to just your typical Western born in a lab.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't just like another American superhero thing.
People who aren't in America all the time, American culture is, pretty obvious in those movies. But for someone like me, who's it's just every day, it was nice to see something that wasn't so every day.
Exactly, and I mean they're all so good with their accents and stuff like that. Here you have all of us who, I don't know, we're very, very American. And we have a very set way of speaking, and we watch this movie where they've got a very different manner of speaking, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very enjoyable.
I wouldn't call myself very American, TBH.
Dude, I was just thinking about it this week. Your accent has changed a ton. Like, I know people have already said it in the past, but I was listening
if you go back and watch
when you first
episodes.
joined, you sounded so British because you claimed like all your friends that you played games with back then were British. So we've corrupted you.
Yeah, and it's like adaptable as well because the times I go to England and I like stay there for like a couple weeks, I just continuously at the end there I just talk completely British, and they're just like, "Hey, weren't you American when you first arrived?" And it's weird, but I think I settled on the American accent. I think some people find British intimidating for some reason, so I don't know.
Really?
Is this like a switch that you talk
formal one or whatever?
No, it just happens because like I don't think of it myself at all because. When I'm talking English, I am simultaneously translating absolutely everything I'm saying in my head at all times, and so I'm more focused on that than actually what I'm saying. So when people make note of the accent, then I'm just like, oh, okay, so that's happening. Like I don't really know what's happening, basically. It's great.
So when you're thinking about what you say, you're thinking in Norwegian then?
I try to think in English, but I don't think it like has a language. I thought for a very long time that like, I'm thinking in English right now, but like I am still doing like translation and things. I don't know. It's very weird. I think it's like images. I don't know. It's just weird.
No, I can understand that.
As long as I'm communicating and people understand me, then I'm happy. I don't really care too much about like specifics as to what's happening inside my head. People are making note of in the Patreon chat that when I whisper, I sound very British, but like that's because I'm doing that deliberately. That is one of the few times I am deliberately using my accent for some sort of punchline or anything. But yeah,
master of accents.
Yeah, that's me.
I was just curious because I can speak some Thai. I used to be more fluent at it, and it just like depends. Sometimes I'm like thinking Thai words, and other times I'm just trying to think of how I'm going to translate my English into another language. So, interesting global awareness, I guess. So, now that Black Panther's being talked about, we are going to get into some gaming news. So, gamers, heads up. No, I'm kidding.
Fellow gamers.
A few months ago, there was some drama with Overwatch, I believe, and just like other games in general that have loot boxes. And so China put in some restrictions where basically companies have to publicly display the chances of you actually getting something, which turned out to be abysmally
that's very old.
low.
Oh.
Yeah, that was like in the last few months though.
Yeah.
So this came back.
I think that's around Overwatch and Hearthstone.
Yeah, so this came back with the whole Battlefront 2 drama, but it's also targeting Overwatch. There are legislators. One started in Hawaii, and this would affect any game that gets published in Hawaii. There's also in Washington State. They're doing the same sort of thing where they're trying to restrict minors being able to access loot boxes. They call it a predatory practice from game developers that are basically getting kids and stuff and people into... It's similar to gambling, so it's just a problem on all fronts. They believing that it leads to addiction and spending a lot of money, which is true, but they want to lock down on that more and make game developers also, just like China, make the odds of winning something known. So, what are you guys' thoughts on putting into practice rule or laws like that?
I mean,
what will the laws basically do? Like,
so as I understand, or did you want to take this, Invi?
No, you can say it.
Do it, Takuma.
So as I understand it, the sort of restrictions being posed right now is that like the ESRB would have to make sure that games that had any of these quote unquote loot box mechanics would have to be clearly labeled, and they would also have to restrict the sale of any games possessing such to I can't remember if it's minors. I think it's anyone under 21.
Oh wow!
I think that's like the gambling
Keep
age,
them,
right?
make
Like,
it- you would have to have an ID of at least 21 in order to purchase the game, because it's being called a predatory practice against people who might have problems with gambling addiction, or just children who maybe don't understand the value of money, or the risk of exposing a child to a gambling like system and then having that translate when they get older. And more or less kind of the changes being proposed are like clearly labeled, a rating for it, restrict sale to under 20 to under 21.
So go on.
I was just going to say, going back to what Invi started out with, where the first kind of thing happened in China with like Overwatch and Hearthstone and stuff like that. I will point out that they were sneaky. Blizzard are a sneaky bunch. So what they did is they said, okay, we're not going to sell you loot boxes anymore. We are going to sell you, a very small amount of that premium currency, like the what is it? It's literally just called currency in Overwatch, isn't it?
Currency.
Yeah.
It's like, we're still going to charge you $50. For that $50, we're going to give you, like 10 coins. But as a freebie, we're going to give you 50 loot boxes. So that's literally the way they're getting around it. That's literally the way they're getting around it right now. That way, since they're not actually selling the loot box, they don't have to worry about like any sort of rating or anything. They don't have to publish the chances, because what they're actually selling is the tiny pile of imaginary coins.
Wait, so if I go on Overwatch right now and I go into like the microtransaction store that they have, you can't buy loot boxes anymore. You can only buy.
This is just in China.
This is just in China.
Oh, this is just in China. Okay.
Okay. Just in China. China was the one that passed that law.
That's pretty sneaky.
Yep.
Yeah, they always have like some bypasses to Chinese laws.
But the way the legislature, I just want to point out that TTV is now talking about politics.
Dun dun dun! That's not our.
This is what happens when the hosts are away. But
this is a very specific loophole. It's not something that we'll talk about all the time.
Facetious, but as it currently stands, with the way these legislations are pointing towards, I don't think even that would get past it, because it doesn't even. It really comes down to, it's hard to say. There would be a lot of finagling and a lot of companies like Blizzard, Activision, EA trying to get around any policy that was put in place, in order to avoid those kinds of ratings and restrictions. But the Battlefront 2 controversy was really kind of the I don't want to say the nail in the coffin, because it's just the start. Nothing's actually been killed yet. I want to say it was like the loudest ring of the bell, which is not an idiom, but we'll say it was what really got the ball rolling.
Yeah.
How many sayings do you have?
Dude, idioms are like plentiful wherever you go. Okay.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah,
so now
we'll go with what Peel said. The shot heard around the world.
Okay. So basically, they're going to very much be incredibly restrictive with loot boxes if this goes through. You need to be 21 years old. So basically, if you want to sell a game and you have loot boxes in it, then it's going to be restricted to only 21 years old people. So, because one of the things... What?
No, go ahead.
So basically, because one of the things that you see with practices right now is that we went the other way around when it came to video games. For a very long time, they were kind of getting just edgier and edgier, but or they started edgy and now they've just slowly gone the other way around, because what they want to do is that they want to make something that a huge audience of different players can play. Fortnite, it's very cartoony, so a lot of younger audiences can play that, and they can get into it. And they can use, and they can get into this whole loot boxes and all that, but because someone needs to be 21 years old to actually get into these loot boxes, that eliminates that whole thing entirely. So that's one of the consequences. So we might get some more R-rated games, something a little more graphic in it, But and for the consumer, this is great. In every regard, it's great that loot boxes might not be the primarily focus for so many video games, but it's also kind of a double-edged sword. Trying to be like a devil's advocate here is that microtransactions and ways like this can work because there's developers out there where they can put out a game and they can have 99% of their player base playing that game, playing it completely for free, and it's still a profitable game experience because you have that 1%
the
that
1% of whales.
It. Yeah. Or not even just whales. Like, you don't need whales for it to be profitable enough. There are actually games out there that do good enough on its own with people not using that much money. It just works. But one of the big reasons why it was very positive for developers to put in these loot boxes is stable income, because video game developing behind the scenes is a nightmare. It's probably one of the most horrendous industries to be inside. There's a lot of delays. There's a lot of
terrible work hours, terrible people.
Yeah, and it's very horrible. And sometimes it's there's a lot of people need to take chances because they won't make that much of a profit after like the initial game launch, and so that's why we've just had these different practices come out through time. We have expansions, and then we had expansion pass, and now we have loot boxes. So that was like a very positive thing for people who did it right. But of course, there is the point of that there are developers like EA that very much seem to abuse this system very much for people like whales. So there's kind of like a plus minus here. It alienates probably some developers in terms of like their pay, and some games might not be able to be made these days because of this new legislation going through. But on the other hand, we won't have something like Battlefront 2 happen. So I don't know.
And I think. Yeah. Sorry. Didn't want to cut you off.
No, go. That was just my thought.
It's like microtransactions in and of themselves are not a bad thing. It's how we can have things like good free-to-play games, or so that developers can put out quote-unquote free updates. If it's done right. And I know it sounds like I've just I'm totally obsessed with these people, but like Digital Entertainment and Warframe, their free-to-play model is, they're thriving, and you don't really see anyone complain about their free-to-play model, as far as how their microtransactions are run and stuff. I think what really kind of started this whole thing off is the fact that, these companies are interested in squeezing out every possible cent that they can get. And, one of the ways they did that is that instead of saying, hey, instead of selling specific things for a price, we're going to sell you random things for a price. And
that's the gambling aspects. Once that opened up, that's
exactly. It's like, I would enjoy Overwatch more, and I would probably spend more on it if I could buy the skins directly that I wanted.
Yeah.
But when I have to spend X amount of
buy
money,
currency.
And kind of the thing is, even Heroes of the Storm, another it's Blizzard's Dota sort of game, used to do that with their skins, where you could just buy specific ones. But when they did their whole, Heroes of the Storm 2.0 thing, one of the things they did was they switched to the whole loot box aspect. And, another part of this conversation you can even go into is, I know plenty of people say, it's not gambling, because you're still guaranteed something. Whereas if you go to a casino, you play blackjack, you could just lose your money and not getting anything out of it. At least you're getting your dust or your currency or your shards or whatever your crafting material.
You're still spending money on the chance of getting something.
Yeah. It's just people want to make the distinction by saying, blackjack, a casino, you don't get anything for your money guaranteed, whereas these other things, it may not be the thing you want, but you're still guaranteed something, which I don't feel is enough of a distinction to say it's not gambling.
That feels like such a old-timey gambler's excuse or something. Like, hey kid, at least you're getting something.
This goes way back. This goes way back to things like Magic the Gathering and Pokemon cards, and when people tried to, say those were gambling, that never went through. Which, I mean, honestly, I think of things like Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, any of those like collectible card games where you don't know what you're going to get for sure. I'd consider those gambling. I mean, shoot, BIONICLE mass packs.
BIONICLE supported gambling. Wow, no.
I mean, it's the whole unknown aspect of it that's meant to squeeze out every possible cent. It's like, if I just spend enough money, I can get the thing I want. But, people don't think of it in terms of, I had to spend, $500 to get this one golden Kanohi. It's like, I had to spend this small amount of money for one pack.
It's like you may as well just buy it on eBay if you're going to spend a ton of money. You know?
Problem with digital things like Overwatch and, all these other things is there is no trading or anything like that, which, makes it
you should be able to trade cosmetics on Overwatch. That'd be so cool.
To be fair...
That would destroy their model, though.
Yeah, it would destroy their model, but to be fair, then you also have the problem with, like credit card fraud and whatnot, where people spend a bunch of money with
then
it's credit fraud.
Once you open trading, you can see a market occurring similar to what you have in CSGO. Because think how big Overwatch is. Yeah, with Overwatch, and if those few Winston and
those BlizzCon exclusive skins.
Yeah, BlizzCon exclusive skins that there's very few of that people are very sought after because they want to have a unique. People can put those up no matter what kind of safeguards you put out, no matter what you do. If you have a mechanic in a game in which you can trade something, then people will find a way to be a market for that. And it's not profitable. It's only profitable to the people within that market. It's not profitable for the...
Fraud will show up.
Yeah, it's a very slippery slope. It's weird. What are your thoughts on all this stuff happening, Prpl? Do you have any strong feelings one or the other?
No, it's fine. I just want my Dragon Pharaoh skin, dude.
That's all you care about?
That's all I care about.
How do you guys spend much on loot boxes, if at all?
Maybe $5 if there's a really good skin, but
I did a couple times early on, but not since because that was it was still kind of a new thing, loot boxes to an extent, and I was like, it's not the worst thing, I'll throw a few dollars to developers for giving us the quote unquote free updates and stuff. But the more the more I think about it, it's like the loot box itself is just a terrible practice. It's not
I'll admit,
a little bit at first, but not since.
Every holiday event, I will throw about $5 to because I know I'm not going to play the game enough to grind out getting the loot boxes and stuff. So it's like, hey, might as well give it a shot. It's not $5 I'm going to miss. Too bad I'm not in bind. So I'll give it a try. It usually doesn't work out too well. Maybe get one legendary skin out of it, but I don't know.
I just learned to stop caring as much about the skins. And just, if they ever make it so that I can specifically buy the one I want, sure, I'll spend more money on it. I'm almost guaranteed. But for the time being, where it's all up to chance, and I only play so many characters, the odds aren't good. I'm going to get something for someone I want anyway. So,
yeah.
So that should wrap it up. We are just over the hour mark now. But X, Takuma, sort of Prpl, sort of me. Thanks for your input on loot boxes. I think this is a good. I think the lawmakers have good intentions. They're trying to look out for consumers, but this should be an interesting thing going on with.
It's risky territory either way.
Yeah, this is going to be going on for who knows how long. They're just barely starting to introduce and write these bills to implement on the state and federal levels, but we shall see what happens. So that's all we're going to be talking about today. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. If you'd like to join us on Patreon, as said before, you can donate at patreon.com// the TTV channel. Cheapest thing is $1. You can join us in hanging out and stuff. You can also discuss with us on the message boards at board.ttvchannel.com and participate in the discussion there. Our patron shout out for today is Nintendoni. He's just sitting there in the chat, and I thought, hey, that's a name I haven't seen before. You're cool. So enjoy your shout out. So let's wrap this up. Thanks for watching. I'm Invi.
I'm Takuma.
I'm Prpl.
I'm the XX Trooper.
And this was TTV Podcast, I believe, 285. Have fun.
Cool.
See ya.
Yeah, see ya. Bye!
Bye.
So long!
I believe 285. Have fun.
Cool.
See ya.
Yeah, see ya. Bye!
Bye.
So long!